But this one cryptid who's an agent of change, things go wrong and the person dies in their arms, and they discover that that perfect crystalline moment of human death
Going through self-coordination.
Well, howdy, Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day here where I am recording in Shelton, Washington. You, of course, are not in Shelton, Washington, unless you are, in which case you are. But if you're not, of course, you aren't. And where you are is your kind of day. I've gotten very sort of philosophical here. Good morning. It is a brand new day. It is kind of diffuse gray light outside. It's supposed to be cooler, mid-70s. We shall see what happens. It was a nice day yesterday. I went for walkies. I did things here, and it was not bad heat-wise. Definitely a good thing. So, front-loading of videos, hey, if you could toss me a like if you like what you hear and see, that'd be cool. If you could subscribe to the channel if you like what you hear and see, that too would be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, that would be double plus good. And of course, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons, these literally beautiful and literally awesome people who are, in fact, literally beautiful and literally awesome. These people help keep me and my little pets alive. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I know they do as well, even though, of course, they can't speak English. If you would like to help me out and become a patron, there are links in the video description. And if you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, there are links to a PayPal. And if you'd like to help me out without sending money at all, there are links to an Amazon wishlist link with stuff like cat food on it. Front loading of videos over. Thumbs up for that. I did not do much yesterday. Hokey smokes. And I know it's not all my fault, because I'm actually feeling much more negative this morning than I would like, which means I've been heading into another depression trough, not helped, of course, by the fact that the Wellbutrin, which is not only for ADHD, but is an antidepressant as well, takes 6 to 8 weeks to work, and I'm on a light dose of it, and for the past week, I've only been on half dose. So before I've even gotten a full antidepressant effect from it, the dosage went down, and I have a natural cycle to my depression, and yay, we're going into a trough. Life is life. Joy. Such is life. At least I am currently still alive, and that is a good thing. I like metabolizing, and hopefully you enjoy metabolizing as well. Hokey smokes. I can't remember if I mentioned yesterday with my wife. After she had to have heart surgery. What she had been born with, well, she wasn't born with, she had Hodgkin or I can't remember now whether it was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or Hodgkin's lymphoma, but she had spent up to her teenage years getting tumors, and she had to have exploratory surgery to remove them all, and then she had cancer afterward from the radiation treatments to treat the lymphomas, and had to have her thyroid removed. So she was in bad shape, and her heart was not the best, and as we were going out, she said, yes, at some point I'm probably going to have heart surgery, but that's far off into the future. And then after the birth of our first child, which she had 3 children first before I got into the relationship with her, and then we had 2 children together. After the birth of our first child, her heart went south bad. She had to recover from the birth of her child before she could go in for heart surgery, and she just made it. The surgeon was coming out to tell me how, yeah, she was basically dying on the table. If they had had to wait any longer, there wouldn't have been any point. And her heart was much smaller than it should have been for a woman her size, because because of the Hodgkin's lymphoma, her heart was a mass of scar tissue. And so she had, we have 4 heart valves. 2 of her heart valves had failed so bad they needed to be replaced. The other 2 were failing, but we were being treated with medications. And her heart just On top of everything else, she was taking a frightening amount of medications. But she would spend during the next 10 years upwards of anywhere from 3 to 6 months in the hospital every single year. So it was fun that way. I mean, she broke down halfway through our marriage, talking about how hard it was just to live, because she went from an independent, strong-minded, strong-willed person to being in a wheelchair and me having to push her around, and toward the end she couldn't even go to the bathroom on her own. She needed to have me help her. So it was rough. She was losing everything quickly. But life is life. You know. But I just thought I'd mention, I'm glad that we got married. I'm glad that we had our children. But I'm not happy about how she suffered. And again, toward the end, because she broke down because it was so hard halfway through, and toward the end she was breaking down again because it was just so hard. And the very, very end came when we went to a hospital in Seattle where she was going to discuss with them the viability of getting onto a heart or lung transplant list. They just looked at her condition, checked her in immediately. They put her on some meds because she had a UTI she didn't even know about and was going to be going septic. And then when she was there, she just decided time to go on to hospice. And then when she came home less than 6 weeks later, she was gone. So, just thought I'd mention that. Again, I am very glad I married her. You know, smile because it happened. It was awesome. But at the same time, I almost didn't survive it. I almost died watching her die. So, joy. Yesterday, I did not do a ton, as mentioned, but I think it's largely because of the beginning of going into my trough and having to change the medications. I have been taking since yesterday back to a full dose, 150 milligrams daily instead of just 75. But hopefully next month, when I talk to my med manager, I will be able to increase that dosage. That would be good. It is nice to take the Wellbutrin. It does help a bit with the ADHD. I get energy in the morning, which antidepressants will do, but my time blindness slows down, and I am largely able to think a bit better, concentrate a bit better, focus a bit better, remember a bit better. So that's all good. Hopefully, though, if I can get a higher dosage or get a consistent dosing, it'll work a lot better. I can't really remember even what I was thinking about because I follow my creativity and I can't push it, because when I push it, it doesn't work well. And it took me 58 years of life. Well, I didn't decide I wanted to be a writer when I was 10 years old. Well, I was about 10 years old, wasn't it? When I was 1 year old. So 48 years it took me to discover that trying to push a story to where I wanted it to go doesn't work. I have to come up with an idea, give it a shove, and then let the creativity in my subconscious work on it, and then just follow along to find out what it's going to be. So I've been doing that, and that's good. But yesterday I did a lot of ruminating over things that I had thought of to try and keep ideas fresh, to see if there was any other direction places could be taken, and refining ideas and people and beings that are in particular settings. Past that, I didn't really do much. I played a lot of Grim Dawn yesterday, and I'm planning on actually solving the game this time. I've gotten far through it, so here's hoping I can. Definitely a thumbs up on that. So I'm going to talk about the bit of creative stuff that I have, and then I'm going to call it off and wrap it up, because I don't have a ton to talk about today. I do need to talk some. I am a talker, and if I don't talk, then I clog up here and things just go south quickly. So I need to talk, even if it's just a little bit. So thank you very much if you've watched this far. Greatly appreciated. Nobody's forcing you to. So the fact that you do is awesome. I got an itchy spot right there. That's fun. Yay. I hate scratching any point while I'm recording because, I don't like to remind myself or anyone else that I'm a carbon-based life form and I am organic. Sometimes I wish I was a cyborg, to be honest. But yay. Partly because then I won't have to die in 10 years. Hopefully at least 10 years, because after all, I've reached the point of age in my life where even people with money and access to healthcare are dying before they turn 70. And in less than 2 months, I'm going to turn 60. It'd be nice if I could say, oh, my lifespan's going to be more than 9 years. But here's hoping. After all, I'm going to go on to the creativity here again real quick, but after all, your life is divided into 3 pieces: beginning, middle, end. Each of those 3 pieces also has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Your beginning, your youth, beginning, middle, end. You were just an infant, and then you became a toddler, and then you became preschool type age. That's the end of your youth. Then you get into your middle age, where you're into your 20s. And then you're up into your 40s. And then you start getting up about 50. And then you enter into the last part of life. And it's divided into 3 stages. Your early 50s, your 60s, and then your 70s, if you make it that far. Which means at 60, I've hit the last part of life. And in that big chunk of the 3 parts, I'm in the last part, or approaching it. Yay. Thumbs up. But the various things that I've been thinking of with my various settings is I still am thinking of, first off, Reginald. The character of Reginald, the one werewolf, is becoming more of an actual character to be used in this setting than just a background, because I've gotten more of a handle on who Reginald is. Reginald is kind of like me in a way, in that I'm a city boy. I don't like, urban areas, rural areas or places where there aren't a lot of people. I like being around people. I like being in cities. I like people artifacts. I like things. I don't feel right about places if there's not electrical lighting outside. I am a city boy. Reginald is the cryptid werewolf equivalent of being a city boy. His parents lived in as much of an urban area as you can have for the cryptid stuff, because they still live in our world. There's still electricity all around them. There's still people with cell phones. There's still all this stuff. And Reginald, after eating someone, likes to sit on the benches next to Main Street and watch people go by. Well, yeah, all the cars, all the people, all the buildings, all the electrical lighting. He's a city boy. That's the way he grew up. He would not be happy as a werewolf if he had to go out and hunt where there's fewer people or wild animals. Ugh. So getting a greater hand on characters is good. And speaking of getting a greater hand on characters, I've been thinking about this one serial killer cryptid as well, who I have mentioned your cryptid part, whether you're expressed or naturalized, is genetic. In this universe, everybody has, because of exposure to extra-universal energies, there are extra-universal chromosomes, and within those extra-universal chromosomes, your extra-universal genes can activate. Then you can have full body changes, like with the cryptids. With added, there are extra-universal body structures. They still connect up to your full body, but they're not a part of this reality. Still a part of you, but not being able to be seen or felt or touched or interacted with, except the fact that they feed you the information and deal with the information that you get. So Where was I going with that? Yes, it is genetic, so you can't just decide, I want to change what kind of cryptid I am, any more than you can just go, oh, well, I'm tired of my skin color today, I'm just going to change it. You can't do that. It's genetic, it's a part of you. Same thing with the cryptids. And when you act according to your nature, you have pleasant or at least neutral feelings, and you work against your nature, you get negative feelings, unpleasant feelings. It affects you negatively, physically, emotionally, and intellectually. You hurt. So you can't really change what kind of cryptid you are. But it's like with art. People who shake can still shake in straight lines and draw a straight line. So you can have art, even though you've got a shake that would normally preclude you from doing art. You can work with it and shake in straight lines so you can draw. If you are, say, an urban legend, wandering stranger, agent of change type of cryptid, which just further specialization, it happens. Like this one cryptid who, when you're an agent of change, things don't always go well. Sometimes the wrong people die. Life is messy. It happens. But this one cryptid who's an agent of change, things go wrong and the person dies in their arms, and they discover that that perfect crystalline moment of human death is so perfect, so beautiful, so simply art, that they had to experience it again. So, working within who they are and what they are, as an agent of change, they were able to mentally work on, well, as an agent of change, what is more changing than changing from living to not living, from animate to inanimate, from metabolizing to not metabolizing. If that is not change, what else is? And they are not feeling bad at all. They feel good physically and mentally and emotionally with what they're doing. And they've decided what they're going to do with their next victim is not just kill normally. Oh no. They've been watching other cryptids and have been listening. They're going to try eating them to death. Tie them up. Cut a few tendons. And then just start on an arm. And then see how it feels. And if it feels right, well then, they know what they're going to do in the future. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I can American Sign Language, well, with... we have the Slasher Files. Thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. Wells BXOX. Thumbs up. There is JYY. Thumbs up. Thank you very much. Good to see you in the comments. We have Der Kritiker. Thumbs up. And yes, indeed, that Tovlo song, Habits. Oh my God, I still cry when I listen to it. Carlos Rob, thumbs up and thank you. We have Confused Owl. Always good to see you in the comments. And yeah, sometimes life is bizarre. We have Din Meadow, thumbs up and thank you. Jesse Koskinen, always good to see you in the comments. We have Loco5, thumbs up and thank you. And yeah, nostalgia is, yeah, it's a mixed bag. And there is Samuel Fleming, thumbs up and thank you. We have Ben B, always good to see you in the comments as well. And that is it. 11 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Thank you so very much. You're going to be out of the head, into the world, dealing with real people, if only a text and if only for a short time. Greatly appreciated. Well, Hokey smokes. I'm just going to take it easy today, do what I can, try to do a little bit of extra cleaning up, because, hey, with my ADHD and all, oy vey. So hopefully you can get done the things that you want to get done, and that's cool. And of course, if you have to go out amongst people with all the diseases and the pandemics out there, please just be smart. Oy vey. You don't need to get sick. You don't need to make other people sick. You don't need to deal with long-term ramifications of being sick. You don't need to make yourself or anybody else stop living because you get sick. Just be smart, be appropriate. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.